If your revenue keeps increasing and your calendar keeps getting filled, your stress is higher than it was at half the size of your business right now, and you secretly feel more trapped. Nothing is wrong with your business, but there's a phase almost no one ever talks to you about. And if you miss that phase, scaling your business will not buy you freedom. It will actually lock you in. A business mentor once told me that American businesses often die of indigestion versus starvation. What does that mean? There's a lot of money to be made as a business owner. If you have found a solution to a majority of people's problems and you sell it the right way, the demand for your service will continually increase. However, more money doesn't mean more freedom. If you have to work more for it, then you're stuck. You're locked into something that if you work, you make money. If you don't work, whether it's from sickness or you want to take a vacation or there's problems in your family, well, then you lose the opportunity to make money. And I see so many business owners fail their businesses because of that kind of burnout. Well, the problem that I see with the majority of entrepreneurs is they are poorly educated on what it actually means to run a successful business. I often see more owner-operators than business owners themselves. What does that mean? There are more business owners that think they have a business, but in reality, they own a high-paying job working for the worst boss in the world, which is themselves, right? So when it comes to business, if you are poorly educated on what it really means to run a successful business, then you're going to run it the way you think a business should be ran. And because there's so much ignorance there because you haven't learned, but then by default, you're going to run it like a job because most people's experiences come from working a job. So if you want to start becoming successful in business and you find yourself in that trap of burnout, you find yourself in that trap of you're making more, but you have to work more, and as a result, there's stress, you have to learn what type of metrics to measure in your business to start converting your business into a business rather than a job. So some of the first metrics to really measure are the systems that you have. Are the systems floating in your head, and have you memorized them because you are the only person? Did you bring on people to help you, but setting up expectations for them to follow your systems that you've memorized are just not working because they interpret what you're saying differently than what you understand your systems to be? Those are some first metrics to really measure. Are the systems in your head understandable to a 5-year-old? I'm not saying your employee is going to be 5, but if they don't have an understanding like you really have to dumb it down like that. Other metrics to follow is when money comes in, how much is going out, and what's the gap between what comes in and what goes out. Budgeting, that is a huge metrics. You can be really well with your service. You could do really well with people, but if you really suck when it comes to money, that will hurt. It might not dissolve your business right away, but if you have to find creative ways to bring money in, like get into debt that you don't need to get involved in, then that can create a lot of stress for your business. Some other metrics to measure are how happy are your clients? If you're having a problem with consistency when it comes to delivering, and some of your clients are happy while some are a little bit disappointed, then you could struggle with clients being happy and making up for the clients that aren't. That is a stressful situation to be in. What you really want to do is find metrics that allow you to work less and make more money. If you make more money and you're stressed, that will be the cause of your burnout. If you make more money while working less, now you're working towards building a business. Systemize everything that you're doing, find the right people to train those systems to, and require a consistent delivery for your clients while you keep track of your budgets. Now, there is a culture out there, and if you don't pay attention to it, and you're very, very loose with who you listen to, That culture will tell you that hustle and grind and being busy and working day up to day down is the way to be successful. I don't know how many YouTube videos I'm watching with these new people coming up and claiming that they're multimillionaires. These Instagram profiles of people out there claiming that they're multimillionaires making all this money. And they talk about the unrealistic expectation of hustle and grind. Do not get me wrong. You have to work hard, especially if you're in the beginning phases of your business. But if you're giving everything up, including your family, your peace of mind, and the calm that you need to revitalize your spirit, you're going to have burnout lurking at you right around the corner. And it's going to meet you at your worst possible moment, and you're going to want to quit over and over and over again. And now you're playing the game of resilience, where it's just about fighting through the burnout. It gets old after a while, and so many people get unhealthily sick because of burnout and trying to push through it as a result. So watch who you listen to. There are so many people out there that are successful, and everybody does it slightly different. But there is one thing in common. If you want to make more money and be less stressed, you have to find a way to systemize everything that you're doing and find the right team to delegate all those things to while you lead for the outcome. If you want a successful business, that's how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to hustle. You're supposed to grind, but you cannot make that everything. Your business has to understand what it's trying to accomplish for you, like your goals and dreams with your family, your goals and dreams and experiences that you want to take so that you could serve something greater than yourself, greater than your selfish desires. If those things aren't put in place, you'll be building a business for nothing because you'll make more money and you'll be extremely stressed and never know what that money is supposed to do for you. So let me sum this all up. Business can be an amazing tool that brings you joy and peace and purpose, but likewise, it could also bring stress, chaos, and burnout if you are not the one in control of how this thing is supposed to be built. That's why it's important that you actually have guidance. Education is not everything. You can learn what it means or what it is to build a successful business. But if you are unwilling to take action, or if you don't know how to take action, you need a mentor or a business coach to guide you through every step of success and every season of defeat, because you will have both in business. And those are the only two things that are constant. And for somebody to hold you up when you're down or to celebrate you when you are winning is the difference sometimes between burnout and failure and success and celebration. So what would you rather have? Success and celebration or burnout and defeat? If you want more money and you want less stress, figure out what you need to do to build a proper business and not work yourself into a job. Stay strong.